Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we are back with another episode of Titans. The season finale, episode 13 is finally here. And I'm very excited to see Nightwing. Very excited to see Nightwing. I spoiled myself before by actually watching the teaser. And as I've said in the last episode, do not watch the teaser, whatever you do. I mean, it's more impactful if you actually see it in the episode, so do not spoil it for yourself. But on the last episode, we had something of a bit of a backstory for Rose, who I, I've got to say, Rose is my least favorite character this season. I just I and not because of the betrayal. We now know based on the last episode that Archie is in fact working for Slade. She's been a mole all along. And I saw that coming because, again, if you have watched Teen Titans, then you knew she was the Terra of this live action adaptation. She's the Terra here. Um, so we now know that she betrayed the team, but she now seems to maybe sort of want to be a part of the Titans. But that's not even why I dislike her, because again, I expected it. It's more so, I guess, the reason for her wanting to join the Titans now, which appears to be because of her newfound love for Jason, which just didn't feel organic to me whatsoever, especially because it forced Jason to become some other character than what I've known him to be this past season. It just didn't feel like the Jason that we came to know and love, who was an asshole and a dick. But he revealed much of himself to her, and only to learn that she's been playing them all along. He stormed out, so I don't know if we'll be seeing any more of Jason this season. Of course, this now means that, all right, I don't know, maybe that ties it. We're all screaming for the Red Hood storyline, we all know, but I don't think anyone thought we'd be getting it this season, so I'm glad that he's out of the picture for now. Doesn't mean that he may go and do something reckless and get himself killed and then, hey, Red Hood next season or the season after that, whatever the case might be. But so yeah, Rose, backstory for her. She finally found out about her dad for some odd reason. After growing up with these parents that she has come to know, she decided, I suddenly want to meet my dad. Which, again, I understand a lot of persons who are adopted want to do that, but you don't completely write off your old parents to go and find someone you don't know, and then when you do meet him and he's a murdering psychopath, you still choose to go down that road, and then you complain about it later on. So her motivations are beyond me. But other than that, the last episode we did catch up with Hank, who is having some moral crisis, found himself in some underground fighting, and I've long said that Hawk and Dove are two of my favorite characters in Titans overall. They're dynamic when they are together. When they're not together, not so much. Um, Hank's, I don't know, his addiction. I like where we found him earlier on several episodes ago, where he was in this mentor role. I kind of like that. I was kind of hoping that, okay, he would eventually come back to the Titans, but as a mentor, not necessarily putting the suit back on. So I felt like it was a bit short lived for him to fall back to the suit that easily. But he's there now. He pretty much gave the identity away to some random stranger for to score some drugs, right? And the scene would have been a bit more impactful at the end there if they had done, maybe had a flashback of his brother, who basically started this whole thing with him, the original Dove, right? There was some flashback of his brother and what that meant to them when they put the suits on for the very first time, but we didn't get that. But I guess it got the point across anyway. So who knows where he's headed now, whether he's going to be joining the team for the final fight. I suppose that's a possibility. So they're all going to be facing Slade in this final episode, and they're going to need all the help they can get. So can't wait. Let's check it out.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to purchase a fully programmable super soldier. Customizable.
Oh, it's Connor. It's not Gar, it's Connor. Ah. So she managed to get him under control. Catch the bullet. She must be confident in her work.
Think of that as a preview of coming attractions. We'll be providing you with a satellite link and a code. Set your schedules to 9 p.m. Pacific time and witness what happens when good people put an end to evil.
I wonder if she's gonna set up some situation where he has
Nice
to
touch.
fight Gar.
Always leave him wanting more.
Walter, one more thing.
Yeah.
Connor?
They're gonna kill Walter, aren't they? Bye, Walter. Anyway, he let some information slip to Dawn and Donna, so yeah. How are they controlling him though?
Welcome to phase 2.
And how the hell is our team gonna stop him?
Look, I don't know what we're going up against, but I can guarantee it won't be pretty.
You know what
We're
you're
up
going up
against
against.
our friends. May not be
Yeah.
our friends anymore.
I won't hurt Gar. I don't care what they.
If they're hurting innocent people, we need to be prepared.
Damn! Oh, I guess they have other things to worry about.
I'll draw his fire. You guys hit him with all you've got.
He doesn't have any powers. Nightwing? Wasn't expecting that so soon. Yes! Yes, yes!
You should have stayed home.
How do you know it's me? I'm not even wearing the same.
What the fuck? Dick?
Go on, guys. I've got this. Alright, you guys go and get Gar.
New costume, but the same old Dick Grayson. I told you
More.
what would happen
I've
if
been
the
in
Titans
prison.
were reunited. Now it's happening.
And he sort of has help with,
Jericho?
with Jericho inside. He has some help.
I know you're alive.
Don't say his name.
Can stall him.
Is that the best you got?
Nice. Actually landing a hit.
My son is dead because of you.
I've never seen you bleed. I didn't think.
Motion. That's cheating. Finally pull them out. This is what we've been waiting for.
Jericho?
You don't get to say his name.
You're in there, buddy. Now's the time.
Save, but there's no way to save Jericho.
Don't feel bad. It was never gonna work. You depend on others for your strength. I depend on no one.
Jericho doesn't have a body to
Should've
return
stayed
to, so
away.
what's the plan here?
Now, you're gonna die with your friends.
Is she here to help? Or to join him?
She's the one who told me that you all got.
That's not you, Dad.
Titans are my family. Don't make me.
Well, that's help. Why are the others still
Don't
here?
worry,
Go and
you
get
won't.
Gar. Bettina told them they should be able to take him with Jericho's help. I love the good effects on his whatever they're called. Got him. Oh, he doesn't want to kill Jericho. They've never met before, right? That was pretty quick. I was expecting the showdown with Slade to be like at the end. But Jericho is inside her now.
Jerk. Is that really you?
Where are the others? Are they still in the car?
What's up?
It's good to have you back, kid.
Thank
Oh,
you,
back,
Dick,
really?
for finding me.
Okay.
How's Corey?
I don't think he's dead. I really
Rachel
don't.
passed her up.
He's a hard man to kill. He said it himself.
Let's go.
Oh, you guys have a problem. Bigger problem. So I guess the final showdown is actually with Connor and Gar.
Emergency unit! Please! Help!
It's still weird that he's doing this much damage though. He's a tiger.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the bidding begin.
You guys really need a Superboy to take down a tiger. The weapons could have done it. I wonder if we'll get to see him change into something else.
I think you should go talk to him.
He has used his heat vision, right?
Why me? I don't know. He's Kryptonian. You're
the Amazonian.
They can relate. Okay. Fine.
Hi, Connor.
Well, she can take a
Pleasure to
punch.
meet
I'm pretty
you.
sure of that.
Eliminate the Titans.
How did they manipulate him? I don't understand because they obviously couldn't
was
cut
rude.
him to open. Well, she can take a hit. Probably the only one there that can, so. Ouch. Corey's without her powers, so and Dawn isn't super. Yeah. Powers are gone.
My friend!
Oh, Hank's here.
Should've seen that coming.
Where's Dick?
Fitting
Yeah, I don't think you can either.
Fix it.
I can't. Something's blocking the feed.
Technical
Dick?
difficulties, Miss Graves.
Ah, Bruce. Why didn't they let the fight finish? If they defeat him, then no one would want to buy the product.
It appears bidding is closed for the day.
Huh, that's funny. Oh, Dick's finally showed up. Not sure how much more help he'll be here.
Perfect timing.
Things are getting
Love the
super
suit.
fucking ugly out here. You're not gonna make fun of my suit? I just did. I've missed this.
We have a very angry Superboy. You have thoughts?
When you touched me, you reminded me who I really was.
Well, if no one can reach him, it'll be her.
So I'm gonna touch your paw. Your hand.
I don't know how.
Because I know who you really are,
I hope it works.
even if you don't. Please come back. Gar.
I hope that's permanent though, and they can't do somewhere later down the line they don't just reactivate him or something.
Rachel! Now!
Connor, they are not your family. Fight them.
Dick, hurry up! This guy's really strong!
Harvey, what? What's the plan?
Okay, it's all you.
Diving in. Well, how did they cut open his head to do this?
You're gonna be okay. You're not alone anymore. Her voice. She tells me what to do. I can't make it stop. What is she telling you to do? Light.
They'd actually make this one different.
Connor! Please, let me go. So I can end
this. Sure. Now, where's Mercy? Time to leave.
Shit. Concentrate your firepower on subject 13. Take him down.
It's over.
This is for
Don't
life.
underestimate her.
Damn it!
Can't get used to that. But Lex did call earlier on, so why? Something's up. No, things are going too great, too early.
Is this your dolly?
I just get a feeling something terrible is gonna happen.
Of course.
Get back! Everybody get back! Everybody get back!
Oh. Gone. Where's Connor? What the hell? Why is that? No idea she could actually move that fast. Why didn't Connor jump in? Where is he?
Thank you. Are they taking her back to Themyscira?
They have a place for warriors like Donna. Sacred grounds.
I should go. With Donna.
I don't think you're allowed.
It hurts me.
Look, if you want to go, I'm not going to stop you. But remember, it doesn't matter how strong we are. We can't always change the world.
But we can try. We should try.
I'm not sure I understand. What is she saying? Is she saying she thinks there's a way she can bring Donna back? Is that Jason? Oh. Can't blame him.
This Titan's family is something worth keeping together. Can you take one more nugget of wisdom?
Sure.
Fight the impulse to turn inward, to turn away from others. your team is in grief and needs healing, it's a process best not done alone.
You've been sitting on that one too.
Oh, I just pulled it out in a moment.
I'm sure he knows that all
How did
too
it
well.
sound?
Pretty good.
Keep working on it.
I'll see you at dinner.
Dinner.
We've all spent our lives recovering from the damage done by our families.
That's putting it
I'll mention
lightly.
something I did. If you throw enough strays together, you get the best kind of family. One bound not by DNA, but by a collective sense of duty and devotion to another. And when you lose someone you love, you need this.
Right.
What we have right here. What's next for us all? To Donna Troy. Thanks for giving me a second chance at family. And thanks to you guys for taking me back in. To the Titans.
Titans.
It's Donna Troy.
That's right.
Guys, there's cops in the bomb squad responding to a disturbance in the Mission District. Sounds bad.
It's time to suit up. It's now or never, guys.
What are you waiting for?
Suit up. Hawk and Dove are back in business. Good luck.
There's your answer.
What a one that we have it. Episode 13, the fun episode of the season 4 Titans. I mean, first off, the question is gonna ask, does this really top season 1? I gotta say, I still place season 1 slightly above season 2, only just slightly. The choreography and action sequences in season 2 are spectacular, a lot better than it was in season 1. But I don't know, there was something about season 1 entering the world, getting to know these characters, Rachel and Dick. I don't know, that their relationship made season 1 very special for me, so I kind of prefer season 1 to season 2. So there were great moments in season 2, but I mean, with the very first episode, which should have been the ending of season 1, it kind of started off slow, and then it slowly went up. And then it kind of just they're not too far off, right? I still like both episodes very much, both seasons very much. I just prefer season 1 slightly. I place it slightly above season 2, right? And one of the things that for season 2, some of the highlights for me, as I mentioned before, the choreography was wonderful. Slade being introduced as the villain, and oddly enough, they said he's dead here, but I think we all know he's a very difficult man to kill. So I do not think this is the last we will be seeing of Slade, right? But this actor, what he's been doing with the character, I absolutely love it. I'm one of those persons who have not been exposed to the Deathstroke from the Arrow universe. I watched the very first season of Arrow when it just aired, and I don't know, when I started watching season 2 and pretty much everyone started getting costumes and becoming heroes, it became a bit too convoluted for me, so I kind of fell off. But from what I've heard, I mean the Deathstroke from the Arrow universe was wonderful. People loved him. People loved the combat. And it's a guy from Spartacus. I don't remember the actor's name, but This actor here, this interpretation of Deathstroke, I absolutely loved it. They made him a bit more of a complex character here than I'm accustomed to. He's having a family, two families at that. So I like what they've done with the character and the choreography. Every sequence where he's in, where he's up against different characters, it's something to watch. So that's why Slade is definitely one of the highlights for me for this season. Dick as Nightwing, this is something that I don't think anyone knew would be happening this season, but we hoped that would happen. And we finally got it at the end here, pretty early on in this episode actually, which was surprising. I thought we were going to be getting a cliffhanger this season, but I guess if I'm being honest, I guess the showrunners probably learned their lesson from the very first season and to not do that again, right? Because I don't think anyone liked that. But we did in fact get Nightwing with a brand new backstory, a brand new suit. It looks phenomenal. I can't wait to see him kick ass in this suit in the next season as well. So that's definitely one of the things one of my favorite things this season. Dick as Nightwing. Oh, of course we had this season introduction of Connor, which was heavily teased prior to that, but we didn't get him until like midway throughout this season. But it was welcomed. And I do have to say, the actor portraying Connor has done a phenomenal job portraying a child in an adult's body, right? That's never an easy thing for anyone to do, really. It's never an easy thing to do, and he's done it brilliantly, with that innocent appearance, his movements, his speech. So he's done a phenomenal job, and I haven't gotten a lot of exposure to Superboy. I'm vaguely familiar with his lore, but from watching Young Justice, you can see the similarities with that character here. So I think he's done a fantastic job as well. The series has done a great job setting up storylines for the future as well. The Red Hood, the chief among them, of course, which I think people are just clamoring for, but in due time, I'm sure we will get that. Blackfire, of course, which has been mentioned several times so far, and we got a teaser here at the end of this episode. I do have a lot of questions about it, though. I mean, between Starfire's abilities being turned off weirdly, I don't know if it has something to do with her grieving her guard that she was very close to. Maybe her abilities are somehow tied to her emotions, in a way. But that ooze that keeps crawling into people's ears and controlling them, I don't know how to interpret that. If it's controlling the host, fine, but how is it that it's imbuing them with abilities enough to be able to knock someone straight across the road? I'm not quite sure if I understand how exactly that is working. And her appearance changed to become Blackfire's. And why did they keep using black actors? Not that I have anything against it, but is everyone on Tamarin black? It's a question I've been wondering since they first introduced the guard, right? And then Blackfire. So it's interesting. I definitely want to learn more about Tamarin. I was hoping that our team would be going there, right? Because I think we need to change the scenario a bit. We've been in San Francisco for quite some time. I think we need to change the scenery up a bit. It would be good to go to a different world where everything looks different, people are different. It would be nice for them to do that. But if the last few minutes here are any indication, it seems as though they're doing everything they can to bring Blackfire to Earth, right? And I'm interested to see how that plays out. Hank and Dawn, of course, are, I don't know what the agreement is. I gather that they now work together, but they're no longer in a relationship. Maybe that's good for Dick. I mean, they were together before, and then they weren't, and then Dawn ended up with Hank. But I can see that being a bit awkward with them all living in Titan's Tower, and then suddenly she gets back together with Dick. So maybe not. Might not happen, but hey, there's a possibility. right? But I've said before that Hank and Dawn have been two of my favorite characters in Titans so far. Bar none, they're two of my favorite characters because of the relationship, how they actually came together, and I mean they've acknowledged that they are two damaged individuals, and perhaps it's a bit toxic for them to remain together, right? They're not healing each other as much as they thought that they were doing before, and it's having the absolute opposite effect. So when I don't know, not everyone has, but if you've ever been in a toxic relationship where you're both negative in some way and see the worst in things, I wouldn't say I'd define Hank and Dawn that way, but at the same time, in their actions, they're kind of not great for each other in a way. I think weirdly enough, I think they will find their way back to each other. I think they will. Perhaps not immediately, but I think eventually they will find their way back to each other. But we'll see. We lost the Titan this episode, and I was expecting we would lose someone this season. I didn't expect it to be Donna, but mostly because Donna has been in the season, but she's never really been a key focus at any given point, with the exception of that flashback scene with Garth, right? Aqualad. She's never really been a chief focus. We don't know a whole lot about her, and so her dying doesn't have the sort of impact that you would expect. If one of the pivotal characters dies. So I'm sure the characters will miss her, and I will notice that she's not there. But she didn't carry as much to the team, as the others have, so it's not as impactful as I thought it would be. But Rachel has decided to go to Themyscira. Is that even possible, though? I do wonder. Right? I know women are allowed on Themyscira, men are not. But do they allow strangers to just enter Themyscira like that without, some, I don't know, permission from the queen or whatever the case might be? I'm just wondering. But she's going there supposedly to, kind of learn how to control her powers, or in some way maybe bring Donna back. At least that seems to be what they hinted at. That would be very interesting, and I'm thinking immediately of some storylines that happen in like Justice League Unlimited, right? Where who knows, maybe she could take a trip to Hades, and somehow that would be fantastic if they did something like that, where Rachel could enter Hades and try to free Donna in order to bring her back. That would be fantastic, as a sort of a side storyline. I don't know whether they would do that, but it would be pretty badass if they did. They did something similar to that with Injustice League Unlimited with Diana, but who knows? We'll see. But Donna is dead. Rachel's out of the picture. I would say it kind of depowers the team a bit, except we kind of added Superboy. And speaking of which, Superboy and Donna at the very scene there where she actually died. Why was Donna the one to rush over to lift, to lift the thing to prevent people from being injured? Why wasn't it Superboy? He is much faster than she is, I thought, but then she moved just as fast as he did, which we have never seen her do before, and it's a bit inconsistent with what we've seen her do before. Even her going toe-to-toe with Superboy was inconsistent, because we have seen her go toe-to-toe with Slade before when Aqualad was killed, right? And Slade kicked her ass, and there's no way in hell that she can take punches from Superboy as well as give punches back and not hold her own against Slade, right? Because I'm pretty sure Slade, as resilient as he is, I don't believe he's on par with Superboy in terms of strength, right? So her abilities have been inconsistent throughout the season so far. So I don't know, if they do manage to bring her back, I do hope they try to right that a bit, because for all intents and purposes it should have been Superboy who ran to do that. I don't know how he would not have done it. They didn't even cut to him, so what was he doing that entire time, right? So that was a bit weird. And I mean, even if she did catch it, given how strong they showed her to be in this episode, what killed her exactly? Was it catching it, or I'm assuming it's it's the electricity, it's the current, but is that enough to kill her? But again, she's only half Amazonian, right? Not full. I won't pretend to know her entire lore. So if anyone is more knowledgeable about her character, please post something below and let me know what abilities or skill sets she does possess, how resilient she is, if she could actually catch that, or if she can be harmed that easily. Let me know. One of the other things I did want to touch on though, and before I get to that, that would be the final thing that I want to discuss. Jason this season, right? As I've said, with the addition of Jason to the team, he quickly became one of the characters that I like, because he's different from the others. He's a bit of a dick, yes, but he adds something to the team that no one else does. And he's a bit reckless, no doubt. Got himself in a lot of problems, but somehow throughout the season, or halfway throughout the season, they flipped a switch and he suddenly became someone completely different. And this, I suppose, with the introduction of Rose, the implication is that she changed him in some way, or it was a near-death experience, right? It could have been one or the two, or both. But it just, by the end of the season, it just didn't feel like it was Jason. So it's one of the things that just didn't work for me this season, is how they changed Jason, or how quickly his personality just quickly shifted. But he's still around. I'm sure we'll see more of him in season 2. Again, Red Hood, fingers crossed. But yeah, Jason aside, and Rose aside, as I've said, she's my least favorite character this season, for many reasons. The relationship with Jason being one, her motivations being another, because they just seem to come out of nowhere, really, especially where it comes from her loyalty to Slade, who has she never knew him, but she just woke up one day and decided she wanted to meet him. Then she met him, then she found out he was this psychotic killer, and then she decided, hey, I'm going to leave my family who raised me and go with this guy. It just didn't feel like something that you would do, right? And her love for her brother is just as odd, because she never met Jericho. So where does the affection come from? It's your brother, yes. So I can understand that. But it just still feels as though her motivations are coming from nowhere. So so she's my least favorite character this season. I mean, I'm sure there's still room for the character to grow, and that may change later on. But as it is now, I'm just not feeling her as an organic addition to the team. So that brings me finally to Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne this season. Right? I mean, when the announcement was first made about what's his name? Ian Glenn, I believe his name is, that he would be cast as Bruce Wayne, I wasn't as resistant as most persons were when they heard the announcement. Enjoyed him as Jorah in Game of Thrones. I haven't seen him in a whole lot and outside of that, but I was open to seeing what he would do with the character. And within the very first few episodes, his introduction and his serving as a mentor for Dick, I was surprised, because for some odd reason, a lot of persons, whenever they're introduced to an older Bruce Wayne, they think, the character is different. Of course he's going to be different. He's older. But that wasn't my issue with the character. I actually liked him for the first few episodes that he was actually in, but the more I got off him, the more it just didn't feel like it was Bruce Wayne. Right? Aside from the fact that the Bruce that Dick described in the very first season as this guy that's dark and brooding and walled off from everyone else, and you know, in how he created this darkness within Dick. You know, I was expecting that character, but then when he was introduced, it was the exact opposite. And I said it before in that in the episode where he was first introduced, that one interpretation of this could be, you know, as Dick as a kid, sometimes we often imagine things as teenagers, as kids, we imagine things to be far worse than they actually are. We over exaggerate, and there's some possibility that is what happened here, and Dick had some growing up to do, and he finally did, and he's past that. Fine. So I said, okay, fine, okay. Perhaps that's what happened, and this is Bruce, and I accepted that. But again, the more and more we got of him, and then the dancing in the strip club, and it just didn't feel like Bruce Wayne. I said it before at the very beginning of the season when the announcement was made that I'm fine with having Bruce Wayne in Titans, but the series needs to remain Titans. The more characters that we keep adding from outside, they mentioned Lex Luthor, or he called during this episode, but we never actually saw him, and I'm glad that we didn't. But they may be teasing his appearance in the next season, which I'm hoping that they do not go down that road, right? The moment they cease to be Titans and it becomes Justice League, or it starts to become something else, then you kind of lost focus on the pivotal characters, the key characters that you began with. So I do, and weirdly, right, because all of these characters here have a rose gallery that you can actually pick from. So I'm not sure why we're so focused on Lex Luthor. Or even Bruce Wayne for that matter, right? I mean, those are known characters, so I guess the intention is for people to gravitate towards the content more if they know the villain. But I mean, you added Slade, who arguably is popular, but he's not the most popular villain in DC, right? So there's no need to bring Lex Luthor into this, because it's gonna be tough not to feel as though this is crossing over with the CW stuff. It's gonna become increasingly difficult to keep them separate, because if memory serves, we are going to be getting a Lois and Clark Superman somewhere on the CW at some point, and we already have Supergirl, which has Lex's sister. So I think we've done the Luthors to death, right? I don't think we need to add Lex Luthor to the Titans. I think they have enough rogues gallery between them to actually pull someone else, some other character from one of their comics that can be used as a villain. I'm glad Trigon is still very much around, albeit in the background, and I don't think Slade is out of the picture just yet. We have Blackfire to focus on as well. I would prefer if they brought in Ra's al Ghul instead of Lex Luthor, right? And I know, yeah, he's a Batman villain, but it's much better than going the Lex Luthor route, because we haven't gotten a whole lot of interpretation of Ra's al Ghul. I believe there was one in Arrow, but again, never saw Arrow. But you don't get Ra's al Ghul very often, so I'd much prefer that they go that route than. And if not, hey, forget about him and use someone else, right? Dr. Light was a pleasant surprise this season. I didn't know a lot about that character at all, but I liked the character. It was a pity that they killed him off that soon. But I don't think anyone expected him to be the main baddie, right? So, I mean, Slade was a nice addition. Although they introduced Mercy, so she was sort of a leading villain this season to some extent, and she introduced Cadmus. So I mean, if we focus on Cadmus and, God damn it, what's the name of that other organization? That's similar to Cadmus, but they're more around in Titans. I forgot the name of it, but the Hive, yeah. And it goes back to the conversation that I was having before. Why keep bringing in these characters and these entities from other person's rogues galleries? I'm sure Hive, has crossed over into other comics before, but I know Hive from Titans, right? So I do wish the focus was on Hive instead of on Cadmus, because the moment whenever I hear Cadmus, I immediately think Metropolis and I immediately think Superman. So I guess that's what I hope for the new season. As much as I like this one, I would want them to steer clear of these villains and these characters from other properties. We don't need Superman's villains, and if possible, we don't need Batman's villains either. Focus solely on the Titans and making the Titans strong. Right, pull from their rogues galleries. I'm sure Dick has a few. I'm sure Starfire, going up against Blackfire can provide you with enough content for another season. So if we focus on our core characters, I will be happy for the next season. Please do not go down the road of CW with introducing all these Luthors and I like Ian Glenn as Bruce Wayne, I really do, but sometimes less is more, right? I like him in the mentor capacity when it's necessary. He doesn't need to be Dick's subconscious appearing every other episode to guide him. Yeah, I don't think we need that. I think he's now Nightwing. Hopefully that was just his transformation. That was necessary for his transformation into Nightwing. And now that we have that, we won't be having hallucinations of Bruce anymore. So we'll see. Alright guys, that's it. That's it for season 2 of Titans. Absolutely loved it. Be sure to post down below, let me know what your thoughts are on this season and of course your hopes for the new season as well. Hit like or subscribe and I'll see you guys next time.